traders from across the globe and you traders from lovely Las Vegas. Welcome to another edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar. Traders, I am Oscar Carboni. I grew up down on Wall Street in these pits that you see behind me, and I've learned a lot of great techniques over my years, and I've come out of those pits out of Wall Street to teach you the tips, tricks, and techniques that I've learned to perfect, and I've learned from all these old pros and traders. Let me tell you something, these techniques work really, really well. It is time-tested and proven by the best in the business. As you know, futures trading is extremely risky and can cause substantial financial loss. Whether you are trading technically or fundamentally, it is risky. You should always use stops. Of course, futures trading is not suitable for every trading account, so if you do not have risk capital to lose, you probably shouldn't be playing this game. But for you traders that have risk capital, tonight's show is going to be exciting because it is geared for my tens of thousands of OMNIX that follow me via YouTube and the internet. And it is geared for you Vegas locals who trade for my TV show, which you will see Saturday morning. Traders, this show is going to be about some great things that I have presented you with. Now, for Vegas, I started these TV shows back in May this year. Since the show began, I promised to teach you some very professional techniques that would work really well going forward. These techniques are technical analysis techniques. They're what we use to look at charts and graphs and gauge what we will do next, because all the fundamental news and all the news that you can possibly read and all the traders' reaction to such is right inside the charts for us to see, and the charts show that to us before the market ever reacts to it. The charts are leading indicators of where the market will go next. So since May this year, I've brought you some fantastic techniques, and we've done show after show, and one of those shows were about the bull flag. And of course, the bull flag, if you see a bull flag form on the chart, it means the chart or the market is likely going higher once the flag's complete. Then there are bear flags, and I've done a show for you on bear flags. We've done the head and shoulders formation. Now, the head and shoulders formation, if it's a large head and shoulders, is a topping formation, and I will definitely show you something that will prove that that has worked. I have shown you or done shows about the 200 bar moving average, and I've told you that fund managers all over the planet watch the 200 bar moving average, and you should be watching it. I've shown you the pennant flag. Those pennant flags are extremely bullish or bearish and accurate when you see them, although the pennant flag is slightly more rare today than it was a few years back. I've done a show on parallel channels and how they work. I've shown you the apex and how an Oscarism at the OMNI Trading Academy breaks down an apex and what we expect from it. I've done shows on the bullish and bearish swing days. And let me tell you something, traders, since May this year when I started to bring you these techniques, every one of those that I just mentioned to you has come out on a chart at some point since these videos began and have worked out exactly the way the analysis said it would. So I am here to tell you that these techniques are absolutely fantastic, and they will help you in 1,000 different ways. They should help you point yourself in the proper direction that the market will go in after you recognize these formations. Now, what I would like to do in today's show is I'm going to spend the next half an hour showing you a bull flag that has happened since we told you about bull flags, a bear flag. I'm going to show you head and shoulders formations. I'm going to show you a 200 bar moving average that worked really well. I'm going to show you a pennant flag. I'm going to show you parallel channels. I will show you how well the apex worked, and I will show you swing days. Traders, each and every one of these techniques I have told you about before they happened, explained to you how to use them, which way they point, and all of these have happened since I've been bringing you these shows. I want you to absolutely pay close attention to the chart segment that will be coming up in a few moments, and I want you to go back, if you will, and take a look at these TV shows. They are all at my site, livewithoscar.com. If you just click the TV shows link Every single show I have done for Vegas since May is listed there. Then you can go back and see the date that I brought you, the bull flag, the bear flag, the pennant, the parallel, the apex, the swing days, and you can see if it actually did work. Today's show, tonight's show, is to absolutely teach you that yes, bull flags, bear flags, head and shoulders, 200 bars, pennants, parallels, apexes, swing days, you name it. They work so well that you will fall over when you see how they tell the future. Now, traders, do you know why these formations work? Because charts always pick up all the news that has not been broadcasted, that may have been whispered amongst people from the top all the way down to the traders at the bottom. I'm talking from people in Washington and heads and CEOs of companies. There's always little whispers. Those whispers make it out. They don't go quite public. They hit the charts first. When you see something like a bear flag building, fundamental news will be coming out probably right after that bear flag is fully formed. That will be bearish. We have had that happen so many times on so many occasions that it is uncanny how well these formations pan out. Now, of course, not every formation I show you will work every time you see them, but the idea behind using these formations is this. Let's call it a swing day. Let's say you see the swing day and it's a buy swing day. If you trade the buy swing day when you see it on March 1st, and if you see another one on April 10th, and you see another one in July, and you see one in September, if you trade every one of those buy signals that are swing days, you will see that almost every one of them worked out. Now, every now and then, one will not work. But you should be looking for consistency in your trading. Consistency means a methodical approach, the same approach. You keep rules, you do not break those rules. So if you're using a methodical approach, the approach would be a swing day, I traded, a swing day, I traded, a swing day, I traded, a swing day, I traded. Every now and then, one will not work. What this does for you is towards the end of the year, you realize that I've used the swing day technique so many times that it gave me a high level of accuracy during the swing days when they show up. If you take the bear flag or the bull flag and you trade it every time you see it, what you'll realize is that most of those bull or bear flags panned out before the year ended. Hence, long term, you brought the odds of the bull and bear flag into your corner. Same thing with an apex and parallel channels and pennants and head and shoulders, you name it. If every time you see these formations appear, you trade them the way you're supposed to, the odds come in your favor overall that you've methodically traded a certain way at a certain time when you had a certain signal without second guessing it, without saying this swing day I don't think will work, so let me not take it. That's not what a professional trader does. A professional trader takes the technique every time he sees it, the formation, and trades it the way it's supposed to be traded to get the longer term odds overall to come into their favor. That is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now how well these things work. Traders, when you're finished watching this chart segment, I want you to realize just about everything I'm going to show you are things that I've learned using the Metastock program. I have used Metastock my entire trading career from the day I started at 18 down on Wall Street till today, and I have tried all the great stuff out there that you guys may be using. I am telling you right now, I have stayed with Metastock over all those other programs my entire 29 to 30 year career. Traders, get yourselves a version of Metastock. Simply go to www.metastock.com/TG7. Mention Oscar, and I assure you that they will take very good care of you, and then you can emulate the exact same analysis that I do for you. Traders, use the Metastock. It's the best program out there.
Making money in the markets is not an easy thing to do.
That's why I chose Metastock, the award-winning analysis and data package.
Metastock uses technical analysis, good solid information.
Not just hunches or guesses. This helps me make better trading decisions.
I find the best trades and I can decide when to buy and when to sell.
With Metastock, I trade more confidently.
And that's helped me be more successful.
Go to metastock.com/TG7 right now to get your free 30-day trial of Metastock software.
I love Metastock.
Okay, traders, I have told you that I'm going to show you that these formations I have brought to you since May, you local Vegas traders, that they pan out really well. My army of Omniacs around the world know this for sure because we've done 785 videos for them. But for Vegas and the rest of my Omniacs, let me show you how well this does work. Vegas, I put this chart in a video right after we had a head and shoulders formation in copper. However, here's where I started my local TV show on this date here. Had a head and shoulders, said that it should go lower, and it did. Morphed into a secondary head and shoulders. Look at the size of this one. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. What's supposed to happen after a massive head and shoulders is built, especially when there's smaller head and shoulders around it? And traders, if you'll look, there's a head and shoulders sitting right in this right shoulder. There is a head and shoulders here. There is a little inverted head and shoulders sitting right here. So there's multiple head and shoulders inside of a big head and shoulders. And this, I have told you, makes a market go lower. Now remember, I told you these techniques work from back here, and time has passed since we've been doing videos. Here's the head and shoulders formation, a topping pattern. Look at the breakdown that has ensued since, traders. How well did that head and shoulders work? That is a technique that I told you will work. It's a technique I promised to show you. One of the things I've learned on Wall Street and how to perfect it. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Look at the massive breakdown that took place from there. So the head and shoulders, one of the many formations I've presented to you over these last 6-7 months, has worked out really well. Traders, the interesting thing is I told you this would happen before it did, based upon this one here. Let's continue to look. I also mentioned the 200 bar moving average was something that you really had to pay attention to. On the same chart, you have the head and shoulders, but look at what happened. The shoulder builds on top of the 200 bar moving average, as does the head. Once the head breaks below the 200 bar, the shoulder on the right rallies up and just kisses it, and that's the end of the show. The 200 bar moving average kept this market in check. The world was watching it, and look at the breakdown that ensued. Now, if you'll notice, the last time we got down to the 200 from above, it held, finally breaks in the pattern of a head and shoulders, and boom, boom, boom. So the head and shoulders worked well. The 200 bar moving average works really well. A round of applause for those guys grouped together. So, we talked about a head and shoulders, we talked about a 200 bar moving average. I also mentioned how well flags work, right? Traders, the same chart. There's so much on this copper chart, it's incredible. The first head and shoulders, the breakdown. The second head and shoulders, the breakdown. The 200 bar moving average. But what else took place? Coming down from the head into the right shoulder, a bear flag forms, traders. Right there, easy to see. Bear flag. What happens? The market breaks down, goes into a second bear flag, and you know where we are right now, traders? Boom, right here. This is where we sit. The bear flag worked here, the bear flag worked there, the head and shoulders worked, the 200 bar moving average worked, and I brought you these techniques from back here. I've been telling you that these work really well, and that going forward, after watching some of my shows, that you would see these techniques start to build on charts. What are you supposed to do when you see them? You are supposed to react the way I've taught you. Bear flags, you react to the downside, like here and here. Head and shoulders, if you get below a 200 bar moving average, is certainly going to be a topping pattern. Multiple head and shoulders together are definitely a topping pattern. Multiple head and shoulders grouped together, the 200 bar moving average, this bear flag, that bear flag. You see how well that stuff worked, traders? Look. The 200 bar worked great. The head and shoulders worked great. This head and shoulders worked great. The bear flag worked, and that bear flag worked. Unequivocally, this is proven to be working for you, traders. Let's look at more. The bull flag. Remember I told you when you see bull flags that they should be bullish? Here's a bull flag that happened back on the dollar index chart in the beginning of this month of September. I should say last month. We're now in October. Last month in September, dollar index daily bar chart builds a bull flag, right? You see it, flagpole represented by these days. The flag itself. The next move should be higher. Look what happens. Up, 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 all the way to here. So the bull flag worked. The bear flag worked. The 200 bar moving average worked. That head and shoulders worked really well. Let me continue to prove these things out to you, traders. This is a wonderful thing. What you may not recognize right now is on this chart, you have a head and shoulders building. Possibly a big bearish head and shoulders on the dollar index going forward as of today, but we'll take that one day at a time. Next technique, traders, I told you there's an Oscarism out there. The OMNI Trading Academy does something called an apex. And what I wanted to show you was that this apex is something that works really, really well. And check this out, traders. This is the end result of the apex. The apex are these two lines that come together and form a point, that apex point. The way Oscar has taught his omniacs to follow an apex is this. Break it down into 4 equal quadrants, 25, 50, 75, 100. What I told traders when we were down here on this day, I said, traders, what I think this is a false breakout of an apex, and we're going to rally and break out right at the 75% mark. That's where we should get out of the apex. This is what I told them would happen. This chart is updated as of today. I showed them this chart on 10/03, right? The beginning of October, I showed them this chart, and all we had was up to here. None of this existed. So here's what it looks like now. Here's what it looked like on the 10th of October, traders. Look at this. I told you the apex is going to work. The Omni Trading Academy started putting in buy signals since this day. We went up, 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 and broke out right at the 75% mark. Since then, we've been up here, and we've come back to test the top apex line. How well did that apex work, traders? I showed it to you on 10:03 when we were here. We rallied all the way out and came to the top of the apex and broke out on the 75% day. The day it would have reached the 75% mark on the apex, we broke out. Another astonishing technique that worked really, really well. Let me keep going. The next thing I want to show you is a parallel channel. Traders, I brought you this parallel channel a couple of months ago in a couple of different videos and said when you're in a parallel channel, the best thing to do is sell when you get up here. If it's a bullish parallel channel like this one, you're a buyer down here, you get out up here. You buy it again down here, you get out near the high. You buy it again, you get out near the high. When it finally breaks, the channel is no longer any good, and then you start to break down. The channel worked how many times? So the parallel channel worked really well. Now that you've broken down out of it, it's breaking down into what looks to be a bear flag. So not only did the parallel channel keep you in check, but when it finally broke, it broke into a signal. Traders, these techniques are phenomenal. I tell you that they work time and time again. Of course, not every time, but most cases, these techniques pan out very well. Let's look at another one. The swing day, traders. This is a sell swing day. How can you tell? Because the market was here. The next day it rallied all the way up and then put a low close in. The next day, the day that you want to trade the swing day, you would want to sell it right about here and expect a breakdown. What happened? The market opened, it ran right to that spot and it broke down. That's a sell swing day. It worked really, really well, traders. These swing days, I kid you not, are one of the most accurate formations that we find on daily bar charts. Then there's the buy swing day, traders. This is something exotic like cocoa. Here was your setup. The swing day is here. What you would expect the next day is the market to open and get down to about that low. What did it do? It opened up here and went down right to this spot and rallied out and gave you a bullish day. That's the bull swing day. So far you've seen the bull flag, the bear flag, the head and shoulders formation, the 200 bar moving average, the parallel channel, the apex, and a swing day, bullish and bearish. Now I want to go to corn, traders. Look at this corn chart, the pennant flag. Remember this one? This was back in a video before this pennant flag even formed. Look at how well it worked. It formed the flagpole, the pennant, and the expected move is higher. Look what the market did after the pennant flag. Now, one last thing I'm going to leave you with, this very same corn chart that has the pennant flag. Also, even though there was a pennant flag, it is now turning into a big head and shoulders pattern. This is real. It is up to date right now, traders. There's an inverted head and shoulders right here. There's an upright head and shoulders right here. There's an inverted head and shoulders right here. And the whole thing is one big head and shoulders. That tells me that corn has more downside potential going forward. Traders, pull your own charts, do your own homework. I hope these techniques are absolutely keeping you in tune with the market and market direction. Traders, make sure you grab a version of Metastock and try to replicate these same charts.
Making money in the markets is not an easy thing to do.
That's why I ordered this free book and demonstration disc from Metastock.
Metastock uses technical analysis, good solid information.
Not just hunches or guesses. This helps me make better trading decisions.
I find the best trades and I can decide when to buy and when to sell.
With Metastock, I trade more confidently.
And that's helped me be more successful.
Go to metastock.com/TG8 right now for Metastock's free demonstration disc and a free book on trading strategies.
Traders, welcome back. Vegas, welcome back, and thanks for watching. Now, I just showed you bull flags, bear flags, the head and shoulders formation, the 200 bar moving average, pennant flags, parallel channels, swing days, to name a few. I showed you these techniques before they happened, and then they did. How well did those techniques work? For real, right? Tell me that's not the best thing you've ever seen. Traders, these are the things I've learned on Wall Street, and I know many, many more tips and tricks than this, but I wanted to prove to you that what I've been teaching you all along is absolutely working. Now, amazingly, in May, for you fans here from Vegas, I started to show you these techniques, and you've seen all of those form and then work out the way the analysis said they would. That has been amazing. My OMNI crowd, I mean, you guys know, right? You YouTubers, you know what this is about. How well do these techniques work? Now, traders, I've told you that no technique will work 100% of the time, and we know that. But again, if you take a bull flag and you trade it the same way every time you see one, or if you trade a pennant flag the same way, or if you trade inside those parallel channels till you break out, if you time the apex to break out at the right spot, if you trade a swing day every time you see one, these things that you do will help to bring a smoothing curve in your trading, because these are very good, accurate techniques that will help you gain accuracy over time. So remember, you cannot see a bull flag and say, a friend of mine told me it's going to be bearish tomorrow, I'm not taking the bull flag. You cannot see a swing day and say, news is coming out at 8:30, I'm not going to take the swing day. Remember, all of the fundamental news is already built in the chart, and that's why the chart presented you with a swing day, or a flag, or the 200 bar moving average got violated, or a parallel channel finally breaks, or you're going to run up in the apex. Traders, that apex I just showed you, that is live. That started happening in the beginning of October. I showed this to everybody and said, look, it's going to be a bullish result because it's a pennant, and the pennant should break out towards the upside, or an apex, I should say. And that is exactly what happened, traders. So that apex technique that I showed you is a live, it happened over the last few weeks before our eyes, and I presented that chart on the 3rd of the month, and by the 18th, 19th of the month, it's exactly what happened. Every one of those techniques I've shown you has formed on the chart and then acted the way it should have since I brought them to you. So these are truly professional techniques that I have learned over my 30 years down on Wall Street. And let me tell you, these guys are sharp. The old timers that taught me these tricks, tips, and techniques, they were very wealthy, very successful, and very good at calling markets. And I stood with these guys from 18 years old on, and I was trained and mentored, and then I studied with John Murphy at the New York Institute of Finance, who's one of the most renowned analysts on the planet, and I worked my fingers to the bones for the last 30 years to perfect these techniques, and I'm showing them to you week after week, night after night if you're watching me on YouTube, and look at how well they are working. Another round of applause for technical analysis, traders. I am telling you, I don't care what Uncle Bill said. I don't care what some guy on the TV said. I don't care what you read in a newspaper. I don't care what your own brain surmised. Your best bet is to find the technique on the chart and use it the way you are supposed to use it. Now, if you would like to learn to train your eye to spot these techniques as they grow on a chart before it's too late to use them, you come on down to livewithoscar.com, jump into my free trading rooms for you local Vegas traders. The guys on the internet know this, the traders on the internet. I have a live 24-hour-a-day trading chat room where I am at the helm. I am there to teach you these techniques, to show you where to get in and out of markets based upon technical analysis, and to keep you steadfast and make you recognize, traders, We know this formation, it's a parallel. This is how we use it. Traders, oh look, a swing day came out of nowhere. Here's how we're going to use it tomorrow. I am there to keep you in check, in tune, and to continue to share my knowledge with you that I've obtained over years and years down here on the trading floor. I promise to continue to bring you these shows. Absolutely, I will continue to bring you these presentations on YouTube, but you need to go to my site, livewithoscar.com, and go watch these TV shows, as I mentioned earlier. I have every single TV show that I have filmed for Vegas, and all 785 or 86 videos that I've done for YouTube. They are all at my site, livewithoscar.com. They are there to help you with further education, and they're free, traders. They don't cost you nothing to go back and look at these techniques. So do yourselves a favor and learn how to trade like the pros. Learn how to tell your friends, you know what? I know how to do techniques. I know how to use a chart. I was taught by the pros down on Wall Street because through me, I exude that to you, and that is what's going on. So traders, heed these techniques. Go back and watch the videos. Grab a pencil and paper. Write down what you've learned, and then pull up some daily bar charts and try to replicate these techniques. If you don't know what you're looking at, put a chart up on www.chartupload.com. That is my chart load service. I will see you upload that chart. I will see the chart there. And if you come to my chat room, I can explain to you if you got the chart right, if you got the technique correctly, if maybe you've done something wrong, I can show you the proper way to draw up those charts. Remember, this is continued education from today for the rest of my life, for the last 30 years. I will not go away. I am relentless. If the markets are open, I am studying them, and I am putting out these videos every day and every week for you people here in Vegas, just about every night for my YouTube fans. Traders, one of the best things you can do while you're trading is learn to keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to keep your emotions at bay when you're in a trade, because we all know how nervous you can get, is to say something to yourselves over and over again, and you know what that is. Stop soaring! Emotions are out! Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.